Hello, this is Will Terry, and I've got Jake Parker here. Say hi, Jake.
Hello, everyone.
And we've got our results for our third Thursday contest for the month of March 2013 for SVS. And our winner is, drum roll,
Dun, dun, dun.
Bradley Cooper. We had a lot of really good submissions this time, didn't we?
I thought so. Yeah, there's some really good ideas, some really good art. It was tough.
Yeah. But we did come up with a winner, and we're going to go through the top 10, and we're going to announce that Bradley won $75 off in our store at svslearn.com. And so let's talk about this first one. Why do we like this one so much?
Well, I think I just like the concept of the bear sneaking in there
Yeah,
behind the kids,
trying to
pretending to
look
be a
trying to look
kid.
like everyone else.
Right, and
Yeah,
then the kids are also distracted by their phone, so it's sort of a social commentary as well.
yeah. It's I think concept wise, it's really good. What would you do to improve on this one?
I think color-wise, the darks, the shadows are a little too black
Uh
and
huh.
lifeless.
Uh huh.
I'd like to see more color overall in it, as far as the shadows and maybe some of the light reds too. The reds could be punched a little more.
Right. Leave it to Windows to always ruin your presentation, right?
Yeah.
um, and one thing that I would probably do as well is I'm just looking at the sign, and the sign goes into these really um, sterile kind of geometric blocks. I think there could probably be some embellishment there, maybe planters or something, something to make it feel like the front of a zoo
Mm.
rather than the front of a jail, or even though it kind of is a jail in some ways, right? Um, okay,
Yeah, I think
so
that's a good call.
I can't get to my Windows is just a lovely thing, isn't it? I'm gonna just it won't let me get to my arrows. Here we go. Okay, so we had some other really good submissions too, and this was one that we really loved from Mallory. Um, and the reason we know her, she's taken some of our classes before. Um, this one
Yeah.
was just really fun. I love the color. I love the expressions. What would we do different on this one?
Um, yeah, colors and expressions are great. The poses are all really expressive too. I think though I have a problem with the dad, as I'm fine with a dad being long and lanky, but it feels like he has the same amount of mass as the kids, and I want him to either be taller or thicker,
Mm-hmm.
because right now it just feels like maybe you took a kid and stretched them out.
Mm-hmm.
So he needs to be beefed up a little bit,
Yeah,
or
I
made
agree.
taller.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. I think that's a good comment. Okay, next. This is a really fun one too, and I really like the expressions on the kid's face. The baby is really fun too,
Hmm.
but the baby is the monkey.
Right, and the real baby's hanging on a tree back
Right.
there.
Yeah, it's really fun. Um, for me, I think that the color of the
Come on. Windows.
you know what's funny is it doesn't do this until we want to make a video. Have you noticed that?
Of course.
I never get that pop up ever. But anyway, I think the color of the dad's shirt and the zoo are a little too linked for me, and so it's kind of a distraction.
Hmm.
Whereas the focal point wise, I'm kind of bouncing back and forth a lot. Um, so that's
I
one
think
thing.
the pose of the girl, the happy girl,
Hmm.
could use some work too. You can see in the hands where they're holding hands and where she's holding the balloon.
Hmm.
There's not an understanding of the shape and the I guess the
Anatomy.
fundamental shape of a hand.
Yeah.
So they look they look a little off.
And that's really important to get that right. Okay, don't show this message again. That's the one I should have clicked.
Um,
Yeah, so I agree.
you
So
can also tell this person is a fan of David Catro, which
yeah, you
a little
can.
bit of that coming through.
Yeah, Catro, Catrow, right?
Yeah,
Um,
that's a
I
good
love his
person
work.
to emulate.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, next. This one I really liked. I didn't feel like this one was really illustrating the phrase "and Bernie escaped from the zoo." I don't know if we haven't talked about this, but to me, it's a good illustration of um, and Bernie was trying to escape, or um,
Yeah, yeah, it's a little. At first, I thought Bernie was. I wasn't sure if we were outside the zoo or inside the zoo. If
right,
Bernie was the guy or the gorilla.
right, or it might be illustrating, and the zookeeper barely escaped Bernie.
Yeah, exactly. So
So it's a good illustration, and it definitely is. You get what's going on, but I don't think it really fits this assignment as well as it could
right.
have. Okay, next. This one's interesting. Very expressive, lots of action, but I do feel like on this one too that the anatomy is off a little bit on some of the um, the legs of the horse.
Mm,
And I was kind of personally just wondering, like, I didn't really understand why the bird was tied on to the horse, and it looks like a fun illustration, but again, I don't know if it illustrates the phrase that well.
right. See, I the first read. Okay, it's just a little hard to get the instant read. So when I first see it, I think, oh, that's a unicorn.
Uh-huh.
The second read is it's a unicorn with
Or
the
it's a horse,
birds.
or it's a horse at a birthday party. Or I
Yeah,
got that second, then I was like, no, wait, that's an ice cream cone. Yeah.
it's the ice cream
So,
cone, and obviously the bird there is to make him look like a Pegasus.
mhm.
So this okay. So maybe the zebra wants to escape from the zoo, and he's using this elaborate, uh,
Ruse. Yeah.
yeah, to get out.
It's probably a little more complicated than it needs to be to illustrate the actual line of text.
Yeah,
Okay.
I say it's very creative, but too complicated.
Hmm. Okay, and then we got the snake that's getting away on the balloons, which is kind of a fun idea, a snake just kind of grabbing hold of the balloons and
Hmm.
flying away. For me, it's always tough in a spot illustration when you crop something out with a fade out like that.
Hmm.
That's a major object. Like you can do it, you can definitely do it with the background, but when you've got a foreground object that's fading out, it doesn't work as well. And I hope
Yeah,
that's clear to the person who did this. But what I'm talking about is foreground objects should be all completely included. So the balloon should be complete in the illustration, and but fading out the background's fine.
that's a good note. I think that's good. I really like the rendering on the snake's face too.
Yeah, some really good things happening, creative ideas going on there.
Lots of balloons in the submissions.
Hmm.
Animals escaping via
Well, it makes sense because you've got
balloons.
helium balloons at the zoo, right?
Right. And 6 helium balloons could easily pick up a hippo and a scooter.
He didn't need, he's probably not flying. He just needed that little extra oomph to get over the wall, and
Oh
then
yeah,
he can come back down again.
that's true.
So this
So
was,
I
oh, good.
I think while there's some problems in the character design and a little bit of composition, I think this checkered hippo is a cool looking character.
It is, and it draws your eye. That pattern,
Mm-hmm.
that red and white pattern really draws you into the important part of the illustration. So focal point is working, I would say, on this one. What would you do differently on this?
Um, yeah, what would I do differently? I'd probably just eliminate the balloons and just have him
Yeah,
jumping
I think that's a
on a
good call.
scooter.
I think it's a good call because it's like you have right now, as it is, you have like three focal points, and they're all in
Mm-hmm.
a row, one, two, three, the highest, the middle, and then low.
Yeah.
And that's hard to create a good eye movement when you've got them stacked in a row like that. It would be probably better just to do the play between the larger image, which is
Mm-hmm.
Bernie, and the smaller image, and just have that. I think that's a good call.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have the little owl that's rappelling down the wall, which is really
So
fun. There's some nice rendering.
yeah, I thought this instantly. I thought, oh, this is a really nice illustration. Then my brain kicked in, and I wondered why isn't the owl flying away?
Maybe he's been in the zoo too long and he's molted a little too much. Is that the right term? Molted? Don't.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
his muscles have just atrophied. But you, I think if you're gonna, I think I asked the same question a kid would ask if he
Yeah.
was reading the book, or if
Why couldn't he
someone,
just fly away? And
yeah, why
that's
can't he just fly away? So
and really when we look at these assignments, we're kind of trying to look at them as if we were an art director or an editor.
right,
And these are comments that hopefully an editor would say, would be thinking, and that you as the illustrator needs to be thinking, because um, it all matters in the end. The
yeah.
concept is probably the most important, and then the rendering and the design is second. The form follows the function. So
Now you make him a penguin or some flightless bird, and then that
it
works.
would work. Yeah. Yep. Okay. This was a really fun one too. I like the
This
lighting
is
on
our
this.
second hippo on a motorcycle.
Yeah, so that's a good idea. For me, one of the things that I looked at right away that bothered me, and it's I don't know if it bothered you, as a little thing, was the wheel. The front wheel feels like it's turned and it's
Uh,
not going in the direction of the handlebars.
yep.
Um, and that I think that would be like, I would have probably given this a higher vote in our voting if it wasn't for that.
If it just
Those
had some
it's
better construction on
Yeah,
it.
it's so front and center, and I think that kids, when they look at that, they're going to notice that too. And it's just a matter of drawing that, constructing that moped in
I'm
perspective.
I'm also really worried about his foot getting stabbed.
Yeah, he might
So
not make it up over that fence.
I think you need to either have him clearing it a little more.
Hmm.
I think you just need to have it clear it. I understand it's a close call, like
Hmm.
he's just barely getting over, but
I really do like the simplicity of this one, though. I like the fact that it's a simple
yeah,
spot illustration,
yeah,
like we had put in the description, and good creative lighting, good expression. I like the border treatment on the
hmm
spot illustration. I think it has a lot working for it, but for me, the construction was kind of
I think it needs balloons though. You should have probably balloons tied to it.
good job. Okay, and then this was a really fun idea, wasn't it?
Yeah, this gets points for concept.
Hmm.
The chameleon and the boy are like in cahoots, and he's sneaking out on his hat,
Yeah.
and the high-powered business mom
Hmm.
doesn't see a thing.
From a design standpoint, I would say this is what killed it for me, or not killed it, but why one of the reasons why I didn't vote for this one was that you have kind of just a huge amount of space devoted to the entry of the zoo, and it's, to me, it's distracting or detracting from the main characters. I don't think you need that much of an area on the left, um,
Yeah,
to show this, and um, And then there's some anatomy things where the mom is holding hands with the kid.
Yeah.
And a simple fix for that to get the anatomy right is to take reference pictures. If you're unsure how to draw these things out of your head, it just means you haven't looked at enough reference. We talk about that a lot in our classes.
Also, watch where the feet are placed, because his back foot looks like it's farther, it's on a different plane or it's farther ahead on the plane than the front foot. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's almost like he's walking a tightrope.
Yeah.
Walking out, and you don't place your feet like that. So those little things do matter. Okay, and let me see. I think this is our last one, and this one was a really fun one too. I didn't really understand this concept-wise. Did you, Jake?
No, I didn't. I didn't see exactly.
I feel like
Bernie and how's he escaping?
Yeah, and I feel like maybe he took it to a different took it and interpreted the assignment a little in a more creative way. Like maybe Bernie was a kid who was dressed up like a lion, and how he's escaping out of the zoo. But I think that didn't really illustrate the heart of the assignment, where Bernie is actually an animal. But it's very fun.
Otherwise, I love the color of that pop of blue.
Yeah.
On the tongue.
Yeah, it's really fun. And it's a nice spot illustration. It's a nice lost and found with the bars. It's simple. Yeah. It does a lot of what you would want in a nice spot illustration. I think it's just concept-wise that it's not really working for me.
Two things I'd watch out is the anatomy on the arms. So one arm is huge and long. The other arm is short and gimpy.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. So the left arm is short and the right arm is longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a row of tangents where the lion's mane is butting right up against the edge of the neck there, and that just creates unwanted tension. So you need to either have them overlap or not be close to each other.
Mm-hmm. Well, good. So that's our Third Thursday contest for this month, the month of March 2013. If you want to check up on and enter into some of our upcoming Third Thursday contests, you can always check us out on Facebook at the School of Visual Storytelling. You can also go to our website, svslearn.com, and you can ask to be added to our mailing list if you go to our Facebook page too, and we send out announcements for Third Thursday contests. So anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for participating, and we hope that you'll participate again.
Yep, thanks guys. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.